Magical realism in a romance book? Sign me up! First and foremost, huge shout out and thank you goes out to Julie Gwynn, the author of this book, Maladaptive. She reached out to me via TikTok and asked if I'd be interested in reading an advanced reader copy of her book. And of course I said yes. I am very, very grateful and blessed for all the indie authors reaching out to me and asking me to read advanced reader copies. It has been a whirlwind and it's been incredible. And I am so behind. Side note, I have so many people asking me to read their books. I actually have like 8 in the queue right now because I'm that behind. Anyway, thank you so much, Julie, for sending me a digital advanced reader copy of Maladaptive. I am truly honored and blessed that I had the opportunity to read it in advance and leave a review, because I can genuinely say that this is one of the best romance books that I've read so far this year and possibly of all time. I've said this before and I will keep saying it. I'm not a romance reader. It's not my typical genre, but again, very blessed with all the indie authors that have been reaching out to me and asking me to read their books. So that's actually primarily all the romance books that I've read so far this year are from indie authors. But this book was spectacular. It was incredible. I honestly cannot say enough good things about this book. So let's get into why I am saying this. If you are new here, I don't do any spoilers. I do give a little bit of context and backstory of what exactly is happening in the book so you know what you are signing up for. Have you ever had a daydream about marrying your celebrity crush? Well, just imagine if you actually run into them in person and they recognize you. That is exactly what happens in Maladaptive. Maladaptive daydreaming is a condition involving intense, uncontrollable, and excessive fantasy immersion that disrupts daily life. So think about daydreams that have been so vivid and have felt so realistic to you that you actually lose sense of time. So we're following Juliet, a hardworking mom who has been daydreaming about being married to a famous actor named Chris Jones. And when she accidentally meets him in person at a comic book convention, he recognizes her immediately. She has no idea how this is even possible and then just gets thrown for a loop and gets sent on this whirlwind journey when Chris actually asks her out. What? So this book, we are following their epic and instant romance, and we are left with the continuous question, will they, won't they? And I definitely fell victim to that. I was rooting for them the entire time. And I was getting so mad at them when they were getting lost in their thoughts, in their minds. They were self-doubting themselves. They were self-doubting what was happening in their relationship and everything around them. I just wanted to grab them out of my tablet and scream at them. I was so mad at them. But that just kept me going. I continuously wanted to know what was going to happen next and what was going to happen within the relationship. So I did not want to stop reading. I did not want to put this book down. That kind of ties in though with the one thing that I did not like about this book, which is honestly a key plot point in every romance. It's ingrained, it's written into the algorithm, the formula. This is just how all romance books work. By the time you're getting to the third act, there has to be some big blow up. There has to be a big fight. And so when Juliet and Chris have theirs, of course I was annoyed. I was very bothered. Their fight pretty much is just about she's a mom, she's just getting out of her relationship with her ex-husband, and he's a famous actor who's constantly busy and is in the press. He's a very public figure, so it's they're basically butting heads about their lives and how on earth are they going to have a relationship when they basically live 2 different lives. And again, I was just screaming at them nonstop. I think they are both adults and they should be able to just sit down and talk about it, acknowledge what is going on in each other's existence, and if they truly care and love about each other, they can figure it out and make it work. Why are we fighting? But again, this happens in every single romance I've ever read. If this hasn't happened, please send those to me. I would be very interested how I feel about those romance books. Again, not a romance reader. But yes, this is a common plot device and plot point in romances because you have to have drama. I mean, if you meet 2 people, they fall in love happily ever after, and there's nothing in between, it can kind of be a little boring, I guess. You need the drama, you need to feel the tension and the intensity, and you have to be rooting for something. So I get it. It just bothers the hell out of me. I'm sorry, it does. But the thing that really makes this book spectacular and very special to me, and honestly why it's one of the best romance books I've ever read, is the magical realism element. I have yet to come across a romance book with that ingrained in it. That formula together made this book, I don't want to keep saying spectacular and fantastic, but it was. That's exactly what it was. It was phenomenal. It was just written so beautifully. Oh my gosh. We learn in the book that these fantasies that Juliet is having is actually what's happening in like a different timeline. She is seeing glimpses of her life if she were to marry Chris that decade ago, that she's been having these fantasies for that long. So like she still has her kids and like she's a successful screenwriter, he's still an actor. Those are what the fantasies are about. And that's exactly how her life could have turned out if this one thing that happened 10 plus years ago didn't happen. It's not even like the fantasies. It's the fact that it's real, that this could have been real. She's seeing glimpses of a possible timeline, a possible other dimension, future, past, I don't know, all of it. This reveal just shifted my whole mindset and how I was reading this book from then on. I actually want to go reread this now, knowing I have that knowledge and just going on this ride with her again, knowing like that could have happened. This is you in another timeline. This is real. Maybe not currently, but this is real somewhere else. Mind-boggling. So again, full circle, this is why this is one of the best romance reads I've ever experienced. The writing was stunning. It was incredible. The visuals were beautiful in my mind. And I really, really want this to be a movie. Don't get me wrong. Juliet and Chris are very flawed characters, but I loved them so much. And I can see that they really care for each other, even if they technically met a week, 2 weeks, 1 month, wherever we are in the story. But if you just take a step away for a second and ignore the fact that Chris is a famous actor, we are following a man who is a workaholic. Let's just say that. He works nonstop. He is continuously on his phone. He's working on the next project, etc. We have Juliet. She is a mom of 2 kids, recently separated from her ex-husband, trying to figure out what she wants to do with her life, what her romance life is going to be. Haven't we all been there? When you take away the grandeur of it all, these are just 2 people that are struggling. And I think that is what makes it so realistic and so relatable to a reader and to an audience. Their lives are messy, and I think that we can relate to it on any and every level. Everybody has flaws. Everybody goes through stuff. Again, that's just why it makes them such relatable and realistic characters, and you just can't help but root for them and root for their relationship. We have a constant internal need for things to work out for us. So of course, it then gets relayed into these characters in this book to root for them to work out. There is a little bit of spice in this book, but I think it was done so well. It was so tasteful. It wasn't aggressive. It wasn't vulgar. It was just the perfect added layer to the complexity of their relationship. And it truly complements the story and the entire book so well. All that to be said, everything that I just stated, I give this book 4.5 stars. I have that personal issue with romance books of the dramatic fight, and that's the only thing that really took me out of it. That's that 0.5 that I took off. If not, this book is perfection. It is a masterpiece. It is one of the best romance books that I have ever read. So overall, if you couldn't tell, this was an incredible read, and I highly recommend to everybody, especially those who are avid romance readers. I really enjoyed it, and I am beyond honored and thrilled that I had the chance to read and experience this book before its publishing date. So thank you again, Julie, so much for sending me the digital advanced reader copy and allowing me the opportunity to read and review your book. I wish you nothing but the most success, and I look forward to your next book. You have definitely gained a reader for life from me. Maladaptive is being released next month, April 12th. It is available for pre-order right now on Kindle. I will have a link for that in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time with another book review.